Fractured Melodies. In the quaint town of Melodic Meadows, where every heartbeat seemed to resonate with the rhythm of an unwritten symphony, there lived a girl named Elise. She was a curious blend of quiet shyness and vibrant creativity, often found with her nose buried in a book or her fingers dancing over a keyboard, crafting tunes that whispered secrets of the soul. Her eyes, the color of a stormy afternoon, held a world of untold stories and melodies that longed to be set free. It was in the 9th grade when she met Marielle Olympe, a girl whose spirit shone as brightly as the stars Elise so often sang about. Marielle, or Mirai as she preferred, was the opposite of Elise in every way that mattered, and yet, somehow, they clicked. Mirai's laugh was a crescendo that could fill a room, while Elise's was more akin to the gentle strumming of a harp. Mirai had hair as wild and untamed as a lion's mane, a stark contrast to Elise's sleek, black strands that fell straight as a waterfall. Yet, it was in the quiet moments, the unspoken exchanges of glances and smiles, that Elise felt the most connected to her. Summary 1. In Melodic Meadows, Elise, a shy girl with a penchant for music, meets Marielle et Mirai Olympe in 9th grade. Despite their contrasting personalities, Elise, with her stormy-grey eyes and sleek black hair, and Mirai, with her vibrant spirit and wild hair, quickly form a bond. They spend their time together creating music, with Mirai helping Elise find beats for her lyrics. Their friendship grew like a well-nurtured plant, stretching towards the sunlight of understanding and acceptance. They found solace in the shared solitude of their artistic endeavors. Mirai, with her digital beats, and Elise, with her poetic verses, created a harmony that was uniquely theirs. They were the dynamic duo of the school's music scene, and their bond was the envy of many. But Elise felt something more than friendship blossoming in the secret garden of her heart, a feeling she had only read about in her mother's dusty, fairy tale books. One fateful day, as they sat under the ancient oak tree, its branches whispering secrets to the wind, Elise felt the weight of her emotions too heavy to bear. She had to tell Mirai, but the words tangled in her throat like a knot of headphones that had been carelessly thrown into a backpack. The sun dipped low in the sky, painting the meadow with warm hues of orange and pink, as if it knew something momentous was about to happen. With trembling hands, she clutched a crumpled piece of paper, the lyrics to a song she had written just for Mirai. The ink smudged slightly from her sweaty palms, but the words remained clear, a declaration of love hidden in the rhythm of a simple melody. Summary 1. Elise and Mirai's friendship evolves through their shared love for music, forming a bond that others envy. Elise secretly develops romantic feelings for Mirai, which she decides to express through a song she wrote for her. Under an ancient oak tree, she prepares to reveal her true emotions. The moment hung in the air, charged with anticipation, as Elise turned to face Mirai. The beat of her heart was the only sound she could hear, louder than any bass drop Mirai had ever produced. She took a deep breath and opened her mouth, ready to let the words flow like a river that had been dammed for too long. But before she could utter a single syllable, Mirai's phone buzzed, shattering the silence like a cymbal's crash. Mirai looked down, her eyes lighting up like the screen of her device. "Oh, it's the beat I've been waiting for," as she exclaimed, plucking her earbuds from her pocket and slipping them in, the music immediately swelling around her. Elise's heart sank, the moment lost to the digital symphony that filled Mirai's ears. She stuffed the paper back into her pocket, the edges crumpled like her dreams. As Mirai nodded along to the beat, Elise felt the distance between them grow wider than the Grand Canyon. She knew then that confessing her love would have to wait for a quieter, less chaotic tune to play out. Little did she know that the universe had a different melody in store for them, one that would challenge their friendship and set their hearts racing like the tempo of a dubstep drop. The story of a fractured Melodies had only just begun, and the notes of their shared destiny were about to crescendo into something beautifully unexpected. Summary 1. Elise prepares to confess her love to Mirai under an ancient oak tree, but Mirai's phone interrupts the moment. Disappointed, Elise hides her feelings as Mirai gets lost in new beats. The interruption hints at a twist in their relationship, setting the stage for an unexpected turn of events that will test their bond. The sun kissed the horizon, painting the sky in a symphony of colors, as Elise and Mirai sat side by side, their hearts beating in a silent duet of unspoken truths. The warmth of the day lingered in the air, mingling with the sweet scent of blooming flowers that filled the meadow. The music in Mirai's ears was a stark contrast to the quietude that had descended upon them, but it was a beat that resonated with the excitement coursing through Elise's veins. She had hoped for a grand finale to the symphony of their friendship, but the unexpected interruption had thrown her off key. Elise watched as Mirai's foot tapped along to the rhythm, her eyes closed, lost in the symphony of beats. Her own heart skipped a beat, the anticipation of confession a silent crescendo that threatened to drown out the words she had so carefully composed. But as the sun dipped lower, the shadows grew longer, and she knew that this was not the end of their tale, just an interlude, a pause before the next verse began. The next day at school, the buzz of gossip and laughter filled the halls as usual. Elise clutched the crumpled paper in her pocket, feeling the weight of her secret growing heavier with each step she took towards Mirai's locker. She took a deep breath, her heart pounding like a bass drum in her chest, and tapped Mirai on the shoulder. "I need to talk to you," as she murmured, her voice barely audible over the cacophony. Mirai looked up, her eyes curious, the music from her headphones silenced by the urgency in Elise's gaze. The two of them found refuge in an empty classroom, the last vestiges of daylight slipping through the windows like the fading notes of a lullaby. Elise's palms were sweaty, her breath shallow as she pulled out the crumpled paper, the lyrics she had so painstakingly written. "I have something to tell you," she began, her voice shaky but determined. "These are the words to a song I wrote for you." Mirai took the paper, her eyes scanning the lines with a furrowed brow, the rhythm of the beat she had been listening to earlier now echoing in the silence between them. As she read, a smile began to form, her eyes lighting up with each syllable. When she reached the end, she looked up, her gaze locking onto Elise's. "You know," she said, her voice soft and sincere, "I've had a beat for these lyrics for a while now." And with that, she reached into her pocket and pulled out her phone, pressing play on the track she had been waiting to share with her best friend. The melody filled the room, a harmony of their hearts, and as Mirai leaned in, her eyes searched Elise's, looking for the answer to the unspoken question that hung in the air. The tension grew, the air thick with the unspoken words, the unexpressed feelings. The beat grew stronger, their hearts synchronized to its tempo, and Elise knew that she had found the perfect moment to finally sing the truth of her soul. The story of a fractured Melodies was one of friendship, love, and the music that bound them together. It was a tale of two souls finding harmony in a world that often felt out of tune, a ballad of self-discovery and the courage to express the deepest of feelings. As they stood there, the rhythm of their hearts intertwined, Elise took a leap of faith, letting her love for Mirai soar like a melody that could never be silenced. Mirai's eyes searched hers, filled with curiosity and a hint of understanding. The beat of the song grew louder, the bass resonating in their chests like the thump of 1,000 butterfly wings. And as the final notes faded, Mirai leaned in closer, whispering the sweetest of melodies into Elise's ear. "I've been waiting to hear that song for a very long time." Their lips met, a crescendo of emotion that had been building for what felt like an eternity. It was a kiss that held the promise of forever, the kind of kiss that fairy tales are made of, except this was no fantasy, it was their reality. Fractured Melodies had found its perfect harmony in the most unexpected of places, an empty classroom at the end of the school day. The story of Elise and Mirai's love grew from the whispers of their hearts, the secret longings they had both harbored. It was a tale of two muses, each inspiring the other to reach new heights, to compose a melody that was uniquely theirs. They were the maestros of their own symphony, each note a declaration of their unspoken bond, each beat a promise of the rhythm they would share. The town of Melodic Meadows had never seen a romance quite like theirs. It was a love that transcended the pages of the dusty fairy tales Elise had grown up with, a love that didn't need a grand ball or a prince to spark. It was a love that grew from the soil of friendship, watered by the tears of doubt and fear, and bloomed under the warmth of acceptance and courage. And as they stood there, their hearts a duet of passion and hope, Elise knew that the fractured melodies of their pasts had come together to create something beautiful, something that resonated with the very essence of who they were. This was their story, their melody, and they would play it out loud and proud, for all the world to hear. The town of Melodic Meadows had never quite seen the like of it. The whispers grew to a crescendo, the town's gossip mill churning out tales of the two young lovers who had shattered the mold of what a fairy tale romance should be. But Elise and Mirai didn't care for the whispers, the stares, or the expectations of others. They had found their rhythm in each other's arms, and that was all that mattered. They named their love story "E Unchatted Harmonies," a nod to the unexplored path they had embarked on together, a path that diverged from the well-trodden roads of the traditional narratives they had grown up with. It was a testament to the power of friendship and the beauty of love that could blossom from the most unexpected of places. The days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, and their bond grew stronger with each passing beat. They wrote songs that spoke of their love, their voices intertwining in a harmony that was as natural as the flow of a river. Their music became the heartbeat of Melodic Meadows, a symphony that resonated with the townspeople, reminding them that love could be found in the most unconventional of ways. The story of the Unchatted Harmonies began to spread beyond the meadow, reaching the ears of those who craved a melody that didn't fit into the rigid structure of a typical love story. And as their music filled the airwaves, so too did their tale, inspiring others to look beyond the confines of what they had been taught, to compose their own symphonies of love. Elise and Mirai had become the heroines of their own epic, not because they had slayed dragons or been rescued by a prince, but because they had found the courage to be themselves, to love openly and unabashedly, and to share their love with the world through the power of music. And as they held hands, ready to face whatever the future had in store for them, they knew that their love was not just a story, but a living, breathing, ever-evolving masterpiece. They decided to call their love Stellar Cadences, a name that encapsulated the way their hearts danced together like stars in the night sky. It was a name that spoke of the boundless potential of their relationship, of the infinite melodies they would write together, and the constellations of moments that would forever link their souls. The town of Melodic Meadows watched in awe as their friendship grew into something more profound, more beautiful than anyone could have imagined. The whispers of doubt and confusion gradually gave way to a chorus of support and admiration. Their bond became a beacon of hope, a reminder that love comes in many forms and that the most important thing was to embrace it wholeheartedly. Their music grew bolder, their lyrics more intimate, and their beats more complex. They sang of the stars that had aligned to bring them together, of the fractures in their hearts that had mended into something stronger, and of the harmonies they had discovered in their union. Stellar Cadences was not just a name, it was the anthem of their love, a declaration of their commitment to each other, and a testament to the power of two souls finding their perfect rhythm. The universe, it seemed, had conspired to compose a love story that was uniquely their own, one that didn't need the clichés of a fairy tale to feel complete. And as they performed under the open sky, their voices blending together like the notes of a perfect chord, Elise and Mirai knew that their stellar cadences would echo through the cosmos, inspiring countless others to find their own melody in the symphony of life. Their music grew in popularity, and soon their story was known far and wide. They became icons of hope and love, their songs resonating with those who had felt unheard, unseen, or misunderstood. And as they stood on stage, their eyes locked in a silent conversation that needed no words, the crowd below them swayed to the rhythm of their hearts. Mirai's beats grew more intricate, layered with the emotion she had once kept hidden, while Elise's voice soared, free of the shackles of doubt and fear. Together, they were unstoppable, a force of nature that could not be contained by the confines of traditional love songs. They were the revolution Melodic Meadows had been waiting for, the change that came not with a bang but with a sweet, Melodies whisper that grew into a roar. Their concerts were no longer just performances, they were celebrations of the human spirit, gatherings of souls seeking solace in the universal language of music. And as they sang their hearts out, the meadow itself seemed to come alive with the vibrations of their love, the flowers nodding along as if to say, we see you, we hear you, and we are with you." The town had been forever changed by the tale of a stellar cadences. The cobblestone streets now echoed with the sound of acceptance, the once still and now vibrating with the melody of love that transcended all boundaries. And as the two young women looked out at the sea of faces, each one a story waiting to be told, they knew that their journey had only just begun. Their music became the heartbeat of Melodic Meadows, a rhythm that pulsed through the lives of everyone who heard it. They were the living proof that love didn't need to fit into a neat little box to be valid, that it could be as vast and varied as the stars themselves. And as they continued to write their love story, each chapter more beautiful than the last, they knew that their stellar cadences would never truly end. It would just keep evolving, growing, and resonating with every heart that dared to listen. The town that had once whispered about them now sang their praises, their names etched into the annals of Melodic Meadows history. The story of stellar cadences had become a legend, one that would be passed down from generation to generation, inspiring those who dared to dream beyond the confines of their own hearts. And as Elise and Mirai looked into each other's eyes, the world around them fading into the background, they felt the weight of their legacy resting gently on their shoulders. Their concerts grew larger, the venues grander, but the essence of their music remained the same, honest, raw, and filled with the love that had brought them together. They had become the modern-day bards, weaving a tale that spoke to the very core of the human experience. Their music was a bridge that connected people from all walks of life, a reminder that love was not something to be found in a storybook, but rather in the everyday moments that made life a symphony of beauty. And so, as stellar cadences continued to play out, their love a melody that grew stronger with each passing day. They had become more than just a couple, they were the embodiment of hope and acceptance. They had taken their fractured melodies and turned them into something unbreakable, a harmony that resonated through the very fabric of the town that had once tried to silence them. But now, Melodic Meadows knew that love could not be contained, that it was as boundless as the stars above, and just as brilliant. The next chapter of a stellar cadences was about to begin. The whispers of their love had grown into a crescendo, and now it was time for them to take their story to the world beyond the meadow. Hand in hand, they stepped into the spotlight, ready to share their music with those who needed to hear it most. And as their voices filled the air, the stars above seemed to shine a little brighter, as if in approval of the beautiful melody they had created. Elise felt a rush of exhilaration as she looked out at the sea of faces, each one a story waiting to unfold. She knew that their music had the power to touch hearts, to heal wounds, and to inspire change. With Mirai by her side, she was ready to face whatever the future had in store for them. The applause grew deafening, the lights blinding, but all she could focus on was the beat of their hearts, the rhythm that had become their anthem. Their music was more than just sound. It was a declaration of their love, a manifesto of acceptance, and a beacon of hope. It was the story of two souls that had found each other in a world that often felt out of tune. And as they sang the final notes of their latest hit, Echoes of the Heart, the crowd erupted into cheers, their love echoing through the venue like the final crescendo of a grand finale. Mirai's eyes sparkled with joy as she watched Elise bask in the glow of their success. She knew that their love was something special, something that had the power to change the very fabric of the world. They had come so far from that day in the meadow when their hearts had first synced, and she couldn't wait to see where the next beat would take them. As they left the stage, hand in hand, they were met with a barrage of flashing cameras and eager fans. But amidst the chaos, their eyes remained locked on each other, their hearts beating in perfect harmony. The story of his stellar cadences was far from over. It was just hitting its stride. Their music had become a movement, a symphony of love that resonated with every person who heard it. And as they stepped into the cool night air, the stars above twinkling like the sequins on Elise's dress, Mirai leaned in and whispered, out to infinity and beyond, at their secret promise to each other, a nod to the boundless nature of their love. The story of a stellar cadences grew with each step they took, their music reaching the farthest corners of the globe. They became the poster children for a new kind of fairy tale, one that didn't need a prince or a dragon to be epic. It was a tale of friendship, of self-discovery, and of the love that had the power to redefine the very essence of a happily ever after. Elise and Mirai had become the maestros of their own destiny, orchestrating a symphony that had captivated the hearts of millions. Fractured Melodies had evolved into something more profound, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the beauty that could be found in the most unexpected of places. Their music videos became mini-movies, each one telling a piece of their love story. The town of Melodic Meadows was immortalized in their art, the meadow where it all began, a sacred place for fans to visit and find inspiration. The story of a stellar cadences had transcended the small-town whispers and had become a global phenomenon, a melody that touched the hearts of everyone who heard it. Their concerts grew grander, the venues more extravagant, but the core of their music remained unchanged. It was still about the quiet moments, the whispers of love, and the rhythm of their beating hearts. They had become the heroines of their own epic, not because they had slayed mythical beasts, but because they had faced their foes and found the courage to love openly. Their music became the heartbeat of the world, a rhythm that pulsed through the veins of those who had been waiting for a love story that reflected their own experiences. And as they continued to compose their lives together, each note a testament to the beauty of their union, Elise and Mirai knew that their stellar cadences would never truly fade away. It was a legacy they were proud to share, a love that had become a constellation in the night sky, guiding others to find their own harmony. The story of a stellar cadences had become a beacon of hope for those who had felt marginalized, a reminder that love came in many forms, and that every heart had a song to sing. They had become more than just artists, they were pioneers, paving the way for a new era of love and acceptance. As they stood on the precipice of their greatest adventure yet, their eyes met, and in that silent exchange, they knew that their story was far from over. There would be highs and lows, notes of joy and verses of pain, but they would face it all together, their hearts forever intertwined. The world watched as a stellar cadences grew into something more than a love story. It became a revolution. A declaration that love was not just for the straight and narrow, but for everyone who dared to feel it. And as they boarded the plane to their next concert, their hands tightly clasped, they felt the weight of their responsibility, the gravity of their impact. But amidst the chaos of their newfound fame, they never forgot the simple moments that had brought them here. The whispers under the stars, the shared glances across crowded halls, and the unspoken promises that had bound their hearts together. Stellar Cadences was their love letter to the world, a symphony of hope that grew with every beat of their hearts. The story of a Stellar Cadences had become a melody of the ages, one that would resonate through the annals of time, inspiring those who came after them to dare to love openly and to never silence the music within their hearts. And as they disappeared into the night, the sound of their laughter and the echoes of their music lingering in the air, Melodic Meadows knew that their daughters had not just found their place in the world, but had rewritten the very fabric of what it meant to live happily ever after. The next chapter of a Stellar Cadences was about to unfold, a tale of love and music that would resonate through the ages. And as they embraced the future with open arms, Elise and Mirai knew that no matter where the melody of their lives took them, the heart of their story would always lead back to Melodic Meadows. The town had become more than just a backdrop to their romance. It had become a character in their love story, a place that had nurtured their bond and given them the stage to share their truth. It was only fitting, then, that they dubbed their journey the Melodies of Melodic Meadows, a title that encapsulated the essence of their love and the town that had shaped it. The story of the Melodies of Melodic Meadows grew with every step they took, each beat of their hearts a verse in the grand ballad of their lives. The meadow where they had first felt the spark of their connection now held a music festival in their honor, a testament to the ripples of joy they had sent through the community. Their music became the town's anthem, a symphony that played in the hearts of every resident, a reminder that love could bloom in the most unexpected of places. The Melodies of Melodic Meadows had become a beacon of hope, a declaration that love was not confined to the pages of a fairy tale but was a living, breathing part of the world around them. The festival grew into an annual event, a celebration of diversity and acceptance that drew people from all over the world. It was a place where everyone could find their rhythm, their harmony, and their voice. And as Elise and Mirai took to the stage, the meadow they had once whispered their secrets in now reverberating with the power of their love, they knew that their story had transcended the confines of their small town. Their music had become a movement, a symphony that resonated with every soul that heard it. They had become the maestros of a new kind of fairy tale, one that didn't require a ball gown or a glass slipper, but rather the courage to be true to oneself. The crowd below them was a tapestry of colors, a visual representation of the diversity that their music had come to symbolize. They sang of the stars that had aligned to bring them together, the fractures in their hearts that had mended into something stronger, and the boundless horizon that lay before them. Their love had become a constellation in the sky, guiding others to find their own path in the vastness of the universe. And as they looked into each other's eyes, the crowd fading into a blur, they whispered the words that had started it all, heir to infinity and beyond. The applause grew deafening, the lights blinding, but all they could hear was the rhythm of their hearts, the music that had become their life's purpose. They had become the poster children for a love that was as vast and varied as the stars themselves, a testament to the power of two souls finding harmony amidst the chaos of the world. The story of the Melodies of Melodic Meadows was one of friendship, love, and the courage to defy the norm. It was a tale that had begun under an ancient oak tree and had grown into a global phenomenon, inspiring countless others to compose their own symphonies of the heart. And as they basked in the glow of their success, their hands entwined, the whispers of their love echoing through the meadow, they knew that their melody was far from over. The world was their stage now, and every heart that heard their music was a story waiting to be told, a note waiting to be sung. The next beat in the Melodies of Melodic Meadows was about to be written, and Elise and Mirai were eager to pen the next verse. With their hearts open and their music as their guide, they stepped into the spotlight, ready to conquer the world with the power of love.